Unit 5, Matrimonial Property Law, Lecture 3, Accrual Claim. Accrual claim. If two spouses are married out of community of property, it means they entered into an antenuptial contract at the start of the marriage, and this is automatically with the inclusion of the accrual system, unless specifically excluded in the antenuptial contract. What are the requirements for a valid antenuptial contract? Must be entered into before the start of the marriage. It's a document drawn up and signed in front of a notary public, and it should be registered at a deeds office. When any marriage is concluded after 1 November 1984, but is out of community of property, will be subject to the accrual system or excluding the accrual system. The accrual system is automatically applicable unless expressly excluded in the antenuptial contract. With a marriage out of community of property, without the accrual system, before the marriage, the husband has his distinct estate as his liabilities, the wife has her distinct estate. After the marriage, the husband will still have his distinct estate as his liabilities, and the wife will have her separate estate. If it's a marriage out of community of property with the accrual system, we said before the marriage, the husband has his own estate, the wife has her own estate. During the marriage, they will still have their distinct estates, but after the marriage, there will be a possible accrual claim to either the husband's estate or the wife's estate. An accrual is simply the difference between the value at the dissolution or the end of the marriage, less the value at the commencement of the marriage of the estate of each partner, and is defined as a personal claim that arises at the dissolution of a marriage. And important to note, an accrual claim takes preference over any claims of heirs or legatees. With regards to the accrual system, certain assets may also be specifically excluded from the accrual claim. These are, among other, non-patrimonial damages received during the marriage, any assets specifically excluded in the antenuptial contract, any inheritance, legacy or donation received unless expressly included, and any donations between spouses will not form part of the accrual claim. How do you calculate the commencement value of each spouse's estate for the accrual claim? If there is no begin value stipulated in the antenuptial contract, the commencement value is deemed to be an amount of 0. If a spouse's liabilities exceeds their assets at the commencement of the marriage, the value is also deemed to be 0, and the proof of a commencement value should be included in the antenuptial contract at the start or within 6 months of the marriage. How do we calculate a possible accrual claim? Step 1, you will calculate the adjusted begin values of each spouse's estate. Step 2, you'll calculate the net values of each estate, assets less liabilities. Step 3, you'll deduct any assets that are excluded, as well as your adjusted begin value. This will give you the accrual amount. Step 4, you'll calculate the difference in each spouse's accrual, and half of that amount will be the accrual claim.